Hey, founders, Kirk Michie here with the second in the top part of the funnel of all the questions that you want answered as you kind of start your curiosity, move into your research, and then go towards execution in selling your business. So the first question to refresh was essentially, how do I know what my business is worth? The second question that flows kind of from that first is, what multiple does my business sell for? Now, if that seems like Greek to you, what I mean by that is that businesses typically sell for a multiple, kind of like with the price earnings ratio on a publicly traded stock. Businesses like yours sell for a multiple of either their revenue, that's usually in the case of highly recurring revenue businesses like software, or more likely their EBITDA, their earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization. Think of that as the transferable economics of the business, sort of the cash flow. We've talked extensively. Feel free to go to our website on definitions and how you calculate your EBITDA. But how do you know what multiple you'll sell for? Well, unfortunately, whether you're asking one of the large language models like ChatGPT, or you're doing Google searches, or even if you get access to a database that's relatively inexpensive, like Crunchbase or something like that, and even if you got access to the databases that are more expensive, like PitchBook or GF Data or S&P IQ, you probably would not get a definitive answer. The easiest way to get a feel for the multiple of what your business might trade for, first, do all of those things. You might get some guidance. Our experience is Perplexity is the best of the large language models for search and research, but chat can provide information too. So follow that down through those articles. And then as you get closer, as you move from curiosity down into the what's going to be your strategy, go ahead and talk to a couple of investment bankers, or if it's a smaller business brokers, and see what their thoughts are. If they're active participants in the marketplace and they're continually doing deals, they're not going to try and suck you into signing up with them just to get an answer to this question. But they might have some good guidance for you around what multiples are, or at least what ranges of multiples are. So a couple of rules of thumb: if your business is really small, might be a great lifestyle business, but from an outside buyer's perspective, it's small. Let's say it's below $1 million of EBITDA or seller's discretionary earnings, or transferable economics, probably going to trade for 5 times or less. It's a professional services firm like an investment bank like mine, or an accounting or law firm. It might only trade for 1 to 2 or 3 times revenue, but that's changing right now anyway. If your business is bigger, call it 2 to 5 million, could trade for somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 8 or 9 times, depending on how high growth it is, how protected your intellectual property is. And then if your business is above 5 million and certainly up into the 10 million and above, you're going to start to creep up towards public market multiples. You might trade in double digits of your EBITDA. So you can see how, if you kind of start to nail that piece down, if you have some conversations with market participants, you get a better sense of what your number is, what you're going to get on a pre-tax basis before you do the calculation with your advisors or in your own spreadsheet on what you're going to net after tax, to see if that's enough to give up those transferable economics of the business. Anyway, so there's a lot more we could go into on multiple. If you want further information, navigate over to candor-advisors.com. Drop me a line with some specifics on your business if you're comfortable, and we'll get back to you. Thanks.